This is problem 3 from the exam 1 review sheet. Yotech makes and sells windshields for Honda Accords. The selling price is $699.95 each. The unit cost of each windshield is $285.60, and the fixed costs are $23,500 each week. Part A said write the cost volume function C of X. Well, remember, a cost volume function is a linear function, linear equation in two variables, where the slope is the unit cost and the y-intercept is the fixed costs. Now, both of those we were specifically given in the problem, weren't we? So we can immediately write this cost function. We don't have to do any calculations. We were told that the unit cost of each windshield was $285.60. And that the fixed costs were $23,500 each week. So there's our cost function. We were told the unit cost, which is the slope. We were told the fixed cost, which is the y-intercept. So that was a nice problem. Didn't have to do any work. Didn't have to do any calculations. The information was given to us so we could directly write the cost function. Part B says write the revenue function. Well, remember, the revenue function, you use the selling price times X. So our revenue function, R of X, would be the selling price, which was $699.95 times X, where again, X is representing the number of windshields that we're going to be making and selling. Now, part C says what is the break-even point? Well, remember, break-even is where revenue equals cost. So we set those two functions equal to each other to see what value of X would make that happen. And remember, X represents the number of windshields in this problem that we're going to make, which will cost this, and sell, which will generate this revenue. So we set the revenue expression, 699.95x, equal to the cost expression, 285.60x plus 23,500. And now we have a linear equation in one variable that we can solve for X. And this will tell us how many windshields do we need to make and sell so that the revenue from selling them will cover the cost of making them. So we'll subtract the 285.60 from both sides. So I'll get my handy-dandy calculator here. So we've got 699.95 minus 285.60. So that gives us 414.35. And then we'll divide both sides by that 414.35. So 23,500 divided by 414.35 gives us an answer of 56.7. So X equals 56.7, and we always want to go to the next higher unit, so X would equal 57, so we would say 57 windshields. We have to make 57 windshields to break even. Double checking that to make sure that was the answer I had on the answer sheet. All right, so we've found the cost function, revenue function. We found the number of windshields necessary to break even. Well, let's go to the next part. Part D said, write the profit function. Well, remember, profit is your revenue minus your cost. So we can create a profit function by taking our revenue function and subtracting the entire cost function from it, which means we need to put that entire cost function expression inside parentheses. And then when we do that subtraction, 699.95x minus 285.60x, we already saw what that was. That's 414.35x, and minus the plus is going to give us minus 23,500. So here's our profit function, P of x. And that makes sense. We're making a profit of $414.35 on every windshield. So we'll have to sell enough windshields so this profit per windshield balances out the $23,500 fixed cost we have every week. And then the final question asked, what is the profit for a week in which 75 windshields are manufactured and sold? And of course, to answer that, we would simply be evaluating the profit function at x equals 75. So we would replace x with 75 and do that arithmetic, and that would give us the profit. And that profit came out to that figure there of $7,576.25 profit from making and selling 75 windshields. So that cost, revenue, profit function, or profit problem wasn't too difficult because we were given the information to help us immediately write the cost function and revenue function. We were given the unit cost, given the fixed cost, given the selling price. Now, problem 4 is the problem I'm going to do next, and in that case, we're not given quite as much of that information up front. We're going to have to figure out some of it for ourselves.